for thelyfestyleplug.com. Today I'm going to be giving you an update about the Happy Skin Co. at-home IPL system, which I've had for quite a while now. And I'm also going to give you guys a life update because some of you may just be here for the Happy Skin Co. review, but some of you may be here because you've been following my blog and wondering why I haven't exactly been very active on it lately. And I've been posting to my Instagram saying that I would give an update about where I've been and why I haven't been posting. So let's get into the review first, and then if you'd like to be nosy and see why I've been gone, feel free to stick around. So to begin, I had gotten the Happy Skin Co. Machine quite a while ago. I saw it on an influencer's page and I was like, you know what, I've been wanting to do laser hair removal. Let's just purchase a system and see how it goes. This is the system right here. It came in this box. Open it up and it comes with a user guide and just a little postcard. So here's the handheld system. Here is the where the light comes out of, and then you plug it into power. The pain level was not very bad for me. I do have a pretty high pain threshold, however, so as I said in my written blog on my website, if you're not good with pain, then your experience won't be like mine. I didn't find it that painful. To me, it feels exactly like someone taking a rubber band, pulling it and letting it hit your skin. That's exactly what it feels like. It's a very quick little zap, and then you get over it. As far as my results, I did start seeing results pretty quickly. My hair wasn't totally gone after the first use, but I did notice that it was growing out more sparse, you know, and just thinner, etc. And by 6 weeks, my legs were almost totally hair free. My Brazilian, you know, that's a tough area, wasn't hair free, but it was sparse. My armpit hair wasn't growing back at all. I also did my mustache, and that hasn't really shown since the first time I did it, but you know, mustache hair for women is very thin and very light, so I didn't have that much to battle. But other than that, since my 12-week usage of it, I'm pretty hair free everywhere. So as far as my life update goes, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I went MIA and have been out of work and staying home and stuff for about 3 weeks now, maybe, because I had gotten a super rare health condition, which is called an aneurysmal bone cyst, or an ABC, which I'm sure a lot of you don't know what that is. A lot of people, a lot of doctors, everybody doesn't know what that is. So basically what it is it's a tumor that grows in your bone and expands and presses on the bone, and it creates a lot of pressure until eventually it snaps the bone. So that's what happened to me. When I was still working, my coworkers would always notice that I was like, man, my shoulder really hurts, it's so sore. And at first I thought nothing of it. I thought, you know, it's no big deal. I sleep on my shoulder all the time, and I sleep really badly on my shoulder. Like, I put all my weight on it, so I'm sure I just wore out my shoulder. It's probably just, you know, irritated, whatever the case is. I didn't think it was a big deal at all. So I didn't take it seriously. One of my coworkers was telling me, you have to go to the doctor. You need to, even if it is just your shoulder, you need to like do therapy or something, get it back to normal, make sure none of your ligaments are messed up or your rotator cuff. And I didn't really listen until one day I was at the park and I was touching both of my collarbones because the pain started to move from my shoulder down this way. And I was like, does this feel not the same? And I asked the person I was with, like, hey, touch this. Do you feel anything abnormal on my collarbone? And they were like, yeah, there's a lump there. So after that, I was like, okay, a lump. based on my Google searches, I thought maybe I broke my collarbone. And because sometimes if you look it up, it says that if your collarbone is broken, sometimes a lump will appear where it broke. So I guess like swelling, inflammation, I don't know. So eventually, after a couple weeks, I went to the doctor to make sure that, you know, everything was okay with my collarbone. And originally I went to an orthopedic doctor, and he told me that there was nothing wrong with my bone. It looked a little weird, but nothing like to worry about. Just I don't have collarbones that look like other people's. I know it sounds weird, but like I'm not the type of person where you're, no matter how much weight I lose, you'll like never see my collarbone because of the way they're shaped and the way they lay. I don't know, it's weird. So that's all he told me he saw. So he gave me some steroids, some anti-inflammatories, said take this for a week. If it's not gone, then come back. So I did. Nothing happened. Came back. He wanted me to do an MRI because he thought maybe it was a lymph node or something, and I said, if it's a lymph node, instead of sitting around waiting for insurance to cover an MRI and for me to get an appointment, then you get the results and blah 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 blah, can't we just do some blood work to rule anything out while I wait? And he said no, and I didn't like that answer. I thought, you're a doctor, you should be thorough. If you think it's my lymph nodes and there's something wrong with them, then we should try to figure this out sooner rather than later. So I went to my regular doctor, my primary care, and she ran blood work. Everything came out good, and she told me, before you do the ultrasound, just see if you can do, before you do the MRI, just see if you can do an ultrasound and try to see if we can see anything that way. It'll be cheaper, easier, and you know, we can see if it's your lymph node, we'll be able to identify it through that. So why, you know, spend hundreds of dollars on an MRI when you can spend just like a copay on an ultrasound? So I went and did that, and the ultrasound came out inconclusive. They saw a mass and said that I needed to get biopsied to figure out exactly what was in the mass or what was creating the mass. So after that happened, actually that happened on Wednesday, and that Saturday morning that followed, I was stretching in bed, no big deal, everybody does it, yawning, whatever, and all of a sudden I feel a large pop in my collarbone and just like excruciating pain. I was like, what just happened? And because I had a ball there, I was scared. I was like, whatever it is, what if the ball is like full of liquid and it popped and it's gonna like poison me or something, it's gonna run through my veins and I'm gonna die. So I consulted with my cousin, who was a nurse, before I did anything stupid, and she said, go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and they did a CT scan, and the CT scan revealed that there was a large tumor that was pressing on my bone and caused it to fracture or to break. So the pop that I felt was my bone literally snapping. For no reason. They said that no matter what I did, eventually I would have just felt it snap. Like, it was not my fault, it wasn't because of the stretching, it's just that the tumor was just applying so much pressure that the slightest movement eventually was going to cause a break. So after that happened, the CAT scan results came back, and the doctors told me, you know, right now we see a mass that's sitting on your bone, and they seemed pretty worried about it, you know, so I had to stay. They said, we're gonna have to admit you because we need to do biopsies and monitor you and figure out what this is, and we can't waste any time because it was growing pretty aggressively. And so I stayed for about 3 days to Monday, so 2 nights, 3 days, and the whole time in the hospital, like, everyone that I encountered, like every nurse, every doctor, was just not like reassuring at all. It was like, you know, what could this be? What are the options? Like, you know, most doctors will tell you, well, it could be this, but it could also be this. Let's hope for this, and we'll figure it out. And they were just like, we don't know. And the only doctor they were consulting with was an oncologist, which is a cancer specialist. So that for me was really scary because I was like, clearly they have one idea of what they think it could be. if there was another possibility, they'd be consulting with an orthopedic or something, but the only person they're consulting with is an oncologist. You know, that was a little scary for me. And that was the only option that they had mentioned, that they thought it might be cancer. And then literally every time I saw a new face, I said, well, what could is it possible that there's anything out there that is not cancer that might be causing this? And they would just say, oh, we just don't know, it's just too soon to say. So it wasn't reassuring at all. It was actually very nerve-wracking, and especially for me that I have, you know, my 2 sons, one of them not even a year old yet. It was such a dark and scary time for me, because I was just thinking of, you know, all the things I would miss if this was cancer, and, you know, it was growing so fast. And I was like, you know, nothing here looks like a good sign. It all points to cancer. I just felt really scared, and I felt like I was going through it alone. Like, I had my family and stuff, but, you know, I'm the type of person that when I'm going through personal issues, I like shut everyone out. Like, it's not any offense to anyone around me, but I just don't like to talk about things when they hurt me a lot, because it's like opening a floodgate to me. And so for me, it's easier to just keep to myself, try to talk to people as little as possible, and just like bury my mind in a TV show or something like that. You know, that's how I cope with my issues, which is not healthy, I know, but that's the way I deal with things. Like, I don't like to deal with things by talking to people about it and telling everyone about it. And, you know, for me, it's more of me like just shutting everything out and figuring myself out, figuring out what my next move is going to be, how I'm going to get myself through whatever I'm going through, you know, what my game plan is going to be. So that was my focus. After the biopsy came back, it was a few days. The doctor told me, you know, it's going to take like a week, but we might have some preliminary findings and we'll give you a call right away. So a couple days later, he called me and said, you know, we got preliminary results, and these are just preliminary. They can change, you know, once they really do more research on the biopsy the biopsy materials. But the preliminary results reveal that it's benign. So I remember I got that call at work, and I almost died. I almost passed out, because I mean, tears filled my eyes. I lost all the strength in my knees, and I just fell to the floor and just wept in happiness, because I was like, oh my God, like, this had been looming over me for weeks, thinking I have cancer. You know, I'm not even 30 years old. Like, I just had a baby. You know, he's not walking yet, he's not crawling yet. Like, what am I gonna miss? You know, what am I gonna miss out on? Like, am I ever gonna get to truly know who he is if this turns out to be cancer? Or am I gonna know him as he is now? Which, you know, when you're a baby, you don't get to really know their personality. They don't talk, they don't, you know, they have little quirks, but you don't get to really know them until they start to speak and everything. And I was just so scared about that. Like, I'm not gonna get to know him, and then here I have my other child that I'm gonna be leaving behind too, who I'm very close to. You know, he and I are super close. After the doctor gave me the results, he told me that, you know, even though it's not cancer, I'm gonna need either radiation or surgery or both to shrink it and then have it removed. So then I went to an oncologist, and then they sent me to someone else, and eventually I found a specialist who specializes in bone cancer. So super specific, orthopedic oncologist. And she told me I can get it all out without radiation, but we have to move fast, because you know, it's affecting your bones. And she's like, I have to really make sure I get all of it out, because it could reoccur. And after speaking to her and doing research and stuff, I realized that this condition is just like, there's no reason for it. It comes out of nowhere. So eventually, a couple weeks ago, I actually got surgery. And although I've been through many painful things in my life and I didn't feel like it was that serious, this surgery was literally so tough on me. It was so painful, and I always felt like narcotics, opioids, whatever, something I don't want to play around with. So I was very against it, but And I mean, even when I had my last child, I took no pain medication at any point during the labor or anything. So I told them, I was like, I'm not taking narcotics. Do not give me any at any point in time while I'm in this hospital. Do not send me home with any. Send me home with pain meds. I don't want to take them, but send me home with some just in case, and they have to be non-narcotic. So but after I got out of surgery, yeah, I definitely had to cave in and ask for it because I was just in that much pain. It was like ridiculous. And then coming out of that surgery was like so difficult. And then when I got home too, they sent me home with a non-narcotic. I had to call my doctor and say, no, this isn't working. I need something stronger. So I only took it though for a day, and then after that I was like, I'm fine, I don't need anything, and I stopped taking everything, Tylenol, everything. I just toughed it out and dealt with it. It didn't really hurt anymore after the second day, maybe third day, but it was an adjustment. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't really get out of bed that much because I just felt so weird. Like the anesthesia like really just messed me up. I felt so sick for a couple days, and then on top of that I was like going through all my personal stuff, so I was just like really sad, and I only wanted to be in bed. I just wanted to be in bed watching Netflix. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to get up. I couldn't really eat because of the surgery. It was like my neck muscles were like affected by here, and you never realize how many muscles and stuff you utilize in your body until they're affected. Because I was like, every time I would chew or open my mouth, all of this just like hurt so bad. It felt like it was pulling on the incision, which was like here. So I couldn't eat anything. All I did was like drink smoothies or soup. And on top of that, my personal issues, I didn't really want to eat. I felt like too, I don't know, you know how it is, like, especially women, like, when you get really sad and you don't want to eat, like, it's just, like, everything makes you nauseous, like, everything just feels like, ugh, I don't want to eat this anymore. Things that I loved, I couldn't stomach. I was just like, I would take a couple bites and be like, all right, I'm done. On top of the pain, you know, I just didn't have an appetite. So due to that, I ended up losing 15 pounds, which I'm not mad at because I actually was trying to lose weight before all this happened. It's just, it sucks that this is the way it had to happen. I would have preferred it being like diet and exercise, but stress really caused me to drop the pounds that I was having a real hard time losing, which I'm not proud of. But my only thing is now I'm just thinking about what's next. I'm thinking I don't want to regain the weight, but I'm not going to keep up the lifestyle that I have now. I'm not going to become like someone who just doesn't eat. I'm not going to become anorexic or something like that. So my new game plan is like, okay, what next? How am I going to stay healthy, get healthy, you know? And I've just been thinking maybe I'll go vegan. So, you know, just change my lifestyle completely, which I have gone pescatarian in the past. So I feel like it's definitely something I could do. My difficulty is with cheese and stuff. I just love cheese so much. I can't live without it. I just can't. It's just the one thing that I just don't feel like life would ever be worth living if I had to live a life that didn't have cheese. And doctors have told me plenty of times to give up cheese, give up dairy, and I'm just like, no, fuck you. It's not happening. So I guess vegetarian will be the way I'm going to try to go. Definitely not vegan. I used the wrong word. But anyhow, so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I've been. And because of all this, I just was like either all sick and dying in bed or just in a funk where I didn't really want to write about anything or communicate with people. So, you know, I got off Instagram for a little bit. Like, I just wasn't opening up the app for a while, and you know, so, but I'm trying to, so as I'm healing, as this is healing, I'm trying to get back to my old self. You know, I'm making plans to start working out again and everything, but I just don't know when I'll be able to, because right now I don't have like full mobility in this arm and this shoulder. So just waiting for clearance for that, which I don't have yet, but I'm gonna start trying to, like, you know, work out at least my lower half and my abs, my core, whatever I can without having to use my arms, which sucks because I like to work out my arms because I want to slim them down. But anyways, yeah, so that's where I've been. But rest assured, I plan to come back full force and continue writing, continue posting. I actually have gotten a lot of love and a lot of traffic since I've taken a break. I've noticed I'm doing better numbers now than I was on my best day when I was posting all the time. So I don't know where everybody came from, but if you're watching this, thanks for coming. And I'm gonna get back at it real soon. Just wanted to give you guys a video because I felt like this would be too long to write about, and millennials don't like to read. I don't like to read. So I didn't feel like this is something I could keep short if I had to write about it. So here's my first vlog. Maybe I'll do more. But I'm planning a bunch of exciting things now that I'm back. A friend of mine and I have been talking about possibly doing like a podcast together. Planning to write, obviously continue writing, and just thinking of new topics, new content. If you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out and tell me what you'd like to hear about, or if you'd like me to try any products, give you guys some reviews, whatever the case may be. I'm open to it. And I'm gonna try to be back next week with a new article. Just have to get my visual content together for that. But this has been an article that has been in the making for a while, that I know a lot of people would be interested in, guys and girls. So I'm excited for that. Stay tuned. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for supporting, even though I've been so inactive. I want to thank you guys for reaching out, those of you that have. And I just want to say that I'm glad that this chapter of my life has passed. Some of, the personal issues are still lingering, and it's going to take some time, but I've always been a strong person. I've gone through a lot of stuff that I don't talk about, and I've survived all of it. So I have no hesitation, no fear that I won't survive this too. Not just this, because a bunch of you guys are probably like, okay bro, you got surgery, it's over, like get over it. But the other stuff that I'm not speaking about, and I'm just excited to get full mobility back in my arm and get my life back and get myself back on track and focus on myself and my goals and my children and the people around me that matter most and that have always been there. And again, I just want to thank you guys for being there as well, because your support and your interest in my blog and in my content and stuff has been really it's been everything to me. It's been very inspiring. Like, there are times when I was in my funk that I was like, oh, maybe I'll just write something and it'll make me feel better, and then I just couldn't get out any words. So, but you guys have been in my thoughts, and the support has been really life-changing. So I just want to thank you guys again, and thank you for tuning in, and I hopefully will see you guys again in another vlog soon. If you guys have any ideas of what you want me to talk about here, or upcoming podcast topics that you would like me and my friend to talk about when we do decide to get that started, which should be very soon, or articles for my website, thelyfestyleplug.com, lifestyle with a Y. Drop some comments, message me, whatever. I'm glad to take your ideas and supply you guys with content that you'll love. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.